Repeated sprint ability is important in many sports, especially those that require short, high-intensity sprints interspersed with short recovery periods. The RSA test is designed to measure the ability of athletes to repeatedly perform short sprints at maximum speed while maintaining performance. The test is simple to perform and only requires the athlete to sprint a short distance repeatedly while recording the average speed for each sprint and the recovery between sprints. It can be done on a non-motorized treadmill or on a running track. In this video, we introduce you to the RSA test on a non-motorized treadmill. The equipment for the test is minimal and includes the non-motorized treadmill. In our lab, we use additional software to control the test protocol and collect data. Alternatively, a second person can time the run manually and read the runner's speed on the treadmill. The subject should be ready for the test, including sports attire, running shoes, and rested to perform to the maximum. This also includes an individual warm-up to avoid injuries. The non-motorized treadmill used in this video also requires a belt. As soon as the test person is ready, they go onto the treadmill. In this example, we decided on a familiarization period, an extra warm-up of 120 seconds on the treadmill to create equal conditions for all test subjects. Starting with 30 seconds of slow walking, followed by 30 seconds of fast walking, and finally 30 seconds of jogging. Before starting, there is another 30-second break. To start and stop the test on the computer, a second person is very suitable for it. After familiarization, the 6 sprints begin with 10 seconds each, with a 30-second break in between. Let's go. On the right of the graph, you can see a guide speed in red, which the person carrying out the exercise can enter themselves beforehand. In green you can observe your own current speed. Highlighted in yellow, you can also see your current instruction, whether it is a sprint or a break. The program builds a table and automatically calculates the average speed of the respective sprints. These give conclusions about how capable someone is of sprinting repeatedly in quick succession. In order to calculate the value of the decrease from the first to the last sprint, the average speeds are used in the following formula. S1, S2, S3, etc. are the average speeds for each sprint. S final is the average speed of the last sprint. Here we measured 4.1 meters per second. S best is the highest average speed, in our case it was the first one, with 4.7 meters per second. This now becomes the sprint decrement in percent. The value of the decrement is calculated, which here gives 7.84%. The value now gives an indication of how capable someone is of sprinting repeatedly in quick succession. Now it is best to have several values of a sports group, for example football teams, to be able to compare the players with each other. Unfortunately, there are hardly any comparative values or benchmarks, which is a disadvantage of the RSA test. This brings us to the advantages and disadvantages of the RSA test on the non-motorized treadmill. The test is a valid tool for assessing the athletic performance of the anaerobic zone in sports where repeated sprints are required, such as football, badminton, or rugby. It also measures the recovery ability of athletes. The RSA test requires minimal equipment and is therefore simple and comparatively fast to perform. The test can be used to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of training programs and training interventions. It can also be used to monitor the performance development of athletes. The recovery time between sprints has a significant influence on the results of the RSA test. Too short a break can lead to overtraining and injury to the athlete. Waiting too long can falsify the results of the test. The RSA test cannot cover all aspects of athletic performance, especially not the aerobic performance, which can be just as important for the respective sport. With manual measurement, there is a risk of inaccurate measurement and therefore the results will be falsified.